This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. An Ironman Triathlon is one of a series of long-distance triathlon races organized by the World Triathlon Corporation. And just reading what it takes to cross the finish line takes my breath away. One Heartland man just completed the Texas Ironman Competition, but not just for bragging rights. He also did it for charity. And to learn more about his accomplishments and his mission, we have Paul Yoder here this morning, along with his daughter, Allie, and his wife, Michelle. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for coming on. So first of all, before we get into your mission of raising money for a specific charity, let's talk about the Ironman competition. What does it consist of?
Well, an Ironman is a triathlon, which is three separate sporting events. You swim and you bike and then you run. So the Ironman is really the pinnacle. It's the longest distance triathlon that's out there. And you begin with a 2.4 mile swim in the morning. At the Ironman, we had 2,500 of my closest friends out there swimming. So 2.5 miles in the swim. Get out of the water immediately, you put on your bike equipment, you jump on your bike, and then you do a 112-mile bike ride. Get off the bike, and then just to finish out your day, a full 26.2-mile marathon.
You make it sound so easy, as if like this is something you just do on a regular basis. How long does something like this take?
Well, I decided to do an Ironman about 2 years ago is when I put it on my calendar. Began really thinking about it, and then started to do shorter distance events, and then built up to a half Ironman, and then eventually the Ironman. It was 8 months of training for this particular event. So when I registered for it, put a training plan together, and then it was 8 months just focusing on this one event.
All right, and we do have some pictures from your most recent event. Now, we brought your family here because they have come to support you. So, Allie, what do you feel like when you see your dad out there competing and running and swimming and biking all those miles?
It just makes me feel like I am someone who's accomplished something.
Oh, and you say that you've actually done races as well, correct? And you're a dancer and you plan on growing up to be just like your dad, correct? All right, look at that. He gave you a little pat on the knee. Now, Michelle, how do you feel when you see your husband out there? And I mean, like I said, I've only run a 5K in my life. I can't even imagine this. And just seeing a sea of little green and red caps out there, what do you feel when you see your husband doing that?
It's very emotional, especially when he takes off on the bike and you won't see him for 26 miles, waiting for those text casters to come through to know he made it to the next mile, but also very proud of his accomplishment.
Now, how long did this Ironman competition take? Do they have like a time limit on it? How does that work?
They do. It begins at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then there's a 17-hour time limit. So you have to finish within 17 hours. So if you're 17 hours and 1 second, you are disqualified, and you can't say that you've actually completed the event.
Oh, wow. And how long did it take you?
It took me 14 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow. Look at that. Well, congratulations. Now, of course, we're not just talking about bragging rights. You actually raise money for a specific charity. Talk about that.
I did. When I began this 8-month quest to do the Ironman, I began thinking that I needed to make that something more than myself, something larger. And my niece, Kristen Montgomery, who's been fighting muscular dystrophy all her life, I've looked at my family and how they've dealt with this, and I was thinking about the Ironman, and at the end of 8 months, I finish. There's a finish line for me, and it's over. And I watched the struggles and the commitment that my family has put into, and what Kristen fights every day, and there's no finish line for her. It's every day she battles.
Right.
And I thought this is a perfect metaphor for collecting money and bringing awareness to muscular dystrophy and the fight that these young people have because they don't get a finish line. And what I want to do, in the mantra that I had was, let's give them a finish line. And so we began to collect money, and I wanted to collect $10 for every mile of the Ironman. So the 146, I wanted to collect enough money to send 2 children to muscular dystrophy camp this year. When I asked Kristen, I said, what is the one thing that helps you the most as you struggle and you fight through this disease? And she said, well, it's muscular dystrophy camp, because I'm surrounded by other kids that are just like me and understand it. And so we raised enough money to send 2 children to muscular dystrophy camp this summer. So.
And you're not stopping there. In fact, you have another event. It's really emotional right now. You have another event taking place in the coming weeks, and you're still asking for donations, right?
Absolutely. The link is open, and it'll be available on the website for anybody who would want to contribute to muscular dystrophy. The event that's coming up here in a couple of weeks, I also compete with a team called My Team Triumph. And what we do is we take children with disabilities and we allow them to be active in some way. And we do lots of 5Ks and 10Ks. And what we do is We put them in an athletic stroller and they run with us, and we push them through the course, and they have a ball with this. And we're doing triathlons now. And so what we do is we take a child. I had a young lady, Linda, with me a few weeks ago at the Steamboat Triathlon in Cape Girardeau. And I hook on a harness and we put her in an inflatable kayak, and I take her on the swim with me, and she rides along for the swim. Then we have a trailer behind my bike that we put her in, and she rides along the full bike course. And then we put her in a run stroller, and she does the entire run with me as well. So she had the opportunity. She was blind, but she had the opportunity to do an entire full distance triathlon.
Experience that, and all because of you and others out there willing to do that as well. Well, thank you so much for coming on. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website. We'll link up your information as well for those that would like to donate to your cause, and hopefully send some more kids out to that camp. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Allie and Michelle, for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.